Okay, well, welcome back everyone. It's Nicola Cairncross here, and we've got pretty much optimal conditions. Everything's tidy, I've done the washing up, and my blow dry is looking mighty fine. I'm going off to my sister Heather's today, who's hosting a gathering of the clan, and everybody from my ex-husband and his partner to young Finn, our newest arrival, is going to be there today. The only person that's missing is Nelson, my son, who's in the wilds of New Zealand in a camper van with some lovely friends, and they're just going around having an amazing time. So a bit more about that in a moment. Today I thought I would go through an exercise with you that I do every year, and that we have done ever since we started our Own It, the podcast, and Judith and I used to do it every year, and I really look forward to those episodes. So I've had to do it on my own this year, but I've managed it, so I thought I'd share it with you because it's pretty good and it's pretty positive, and yet there's space in there for improvement. So I can see that my phone is wobbling a bit, so I'm going to try and stop that, gesticulating in an excited fashion. Just as well I'm doing it now though, because I'll be gesticulating in an altogether different kind of fashion after I get back from this party, hopefully. So we start off by saying what's been great, and you know my predilection for threes, so I like to try and keep them to three, but there's been 4 at least great things in this year. So the first one is that 2 of my clients have topped 1 million views on YouTube. This is absolutely stunning, as both of them hadn't thought of doing YouTube at all. One of them hadn't thought of doing anything on social media. He was a very private person, but he saw the need for personal branding. The other one is my great friend Neil, who I've been friends with and in business on and off with for years. And both of them, Neil specifically, took something he was doing already for his clients, which was hosting a 2 to 3 hour call every week where he answers all their questions. He recorded it anyway for his clients to use, and now what he does is he takes the best questions out. His video editor chops it up and turns it into YouTube episodes, and he's topped 1 million views this year, which is amazing because he only started about 2 years ago. So Neil Asher actually looks after a tribe of Aussie online entrepreneurs, specifically people who want to make money using Amazon, and that is a very specific kind of person. So if you like the idea of that, it's very step by step, his training, and it really gets you. I mean, some of his clients have unbelievable success. And also, it's not just Aussie. You know, he started it in Australia for Amazon Australia when it was coming into the country, but he now works with people and he teaches them how to do UK Amazon. That was one of the things he was really good at originally, and he's also, I think, gone into the USA and India now as well. So lots of opportunity for Amazon entrepreneurs. Go and check Neil out. It's AussieOnlineEntrepreneurs.com. And my other client is Dodge Woodall, who you've heard me mention before. He just topped 1 million views on his YouTube channel. And funny enough, the YouTube channel was a real afterthought, because when we talked a couple of years ago, or was it, I can't remember, it can't have been just last year, it must have been the year before, I had to talk him into creating a personal brand in the first place for an events training course he wanted to create. I said to him, I know you'll be brilliant on a podcast. Why don't you start interviewing people, and specifically interviewing people whose wisdom and experience would go well into your course, because that will be a brilliant, useful addition to the course. And he started the podcast, and after a while I said, you are putting this on YouTube, aren't you? Because he was doing video podcasting, and he got busy, got it onto YouTube, and he's just topped 1 million views. I mean, that is just astonishing when you think about it, isn't it? I mean, even a little YouTube channel like mine that has been neglected for a couple of years, I'm now getting 1,000 views a month, and it's climbing, which is unreal when you think about it from a marketing perspective. I mean, how else can you get in front of 1,000 people a month or 1 million people in a year? Looking, you know, getting to know you personally through video and hearing your marketing message, all about your specialty and your business. So that was my first highlight. I'll try and speed them up a bit because I've got a party to go to. Spending time in Greece this summer was absolutely amazing. I absolutely love Greece, as you probably know, and I hadn't been able to go for a couple of years, so it was wonderful just to head out there and rent a property and just spend time with all my old friends out there who come and go regularly, and also meeting new friends. I made 3 very special new friends this year, and I really enjoyed it, and getting to know people is always an amazing thing. And the thing about Greece is it's the It's the outdoor lifestyle. You know, you go out, you don't spend any time in your house in the summer at all. You go out for dinner, you go out for lunch, you hang on out on the beach. People come down to the beach for a late swim, they come down for an early drink, and then they go back. It's all very outdoor. And the thing is, you sit with someone who you know comes over to say hello, they bring the people that are with them, and you just get to know more people, which just doesn't happen like that here. So I'm looking forward to spending more time in Greece this year coming. The other amazing thing that happened this year was getting invited to the Dominican Republic as a guest of Tone Vays for his financial summit. Now, Tone Vays is someone who is one of the main people on who teach about Bitcoin trading on YouTube, so do go and check him out. He's a Russian guy who's lived in America most of his life, and he's really very cool indeed. And he travels the world hosting events, speaking at events, and he makes videos in between on what the price of Bitcoin is doing, likely to do, etc. So go and check out Tone. I had an amazing time in the Dominican Republic. It was like a 5-6 star resort, and you know, it was interesting. I went from a very basic accommodation in Greece to an amazing, unbelievable resort in the Dominican Republic, and it was beautiful. I mean, the bathroom was nearly as big as my living room. In fact, it probably was as big as my living room, and the bedroom was as big as most people's flats. But I don't care, you see. I just love where I love, and I don't actually need very much to be happy. So while I appreciate the luxury and beauty of places like the Dominican Republic and a 5-star resort, I think it might have been 6 star now I think about it, I also don't need much. I've got a simple life makes me just as happy. I met some amazing people there. All the people there were very serious players indeed. So if you're looking for a fantastic networking event to learn more about Bitcoin and to network with incredible entrepreneurs, business people and high net worth individuals, go and check out Tone Vays Financial Summits. He has them in Bali as well, I think. The other amazing thing that happened this year was coming back to the UK. I found my sister actually found it for me, an incredible little 2-bedroom flat right in the middle of Shoreham town and looking out over the river. My living room has the biggest picture windows and they look straight onto the river. It's an amazing thing because I never know when I open my blind in the morning, I never know whether the tide's going to be in or out, whether the birds are going to be around, whether the swans are going to be around, and what the weather's going to be like and what the skies are going to look like. Makes me very, very happy every time I look out the window. What have I learned this year? Well, the first thing I've learned is something that I thought I would do when I retire, which is move into a top floor penthouse flat in Brighton, in the centre of Brighton. It wasn't for me at all. I did it with Phoebe last year and I really didn't get on with it at all, especially once Phoebe had moved out, because I found that there was quite an emotional barrier to going downstairs and going out into the middle of Brighton on my own. And I think that if you built a social life around the centre of a town, that would be a very cool thing to do, would be to live within walking distance of everything. But I hadn't done that because of various reasons, and I found myself quite isolated. So I don't think I'll be doing that again. What else have I learned this year? The empty nest syndrome is very real. I thought I wasn't suffering from it or wasn't going to get it because, you know, I was still very close to my children. Nelson went off travelling around the South America and then he went off to New Zealand, and Phoebe finally moved in with her long-term boyfriend, and I actually did get empty nest syndrome. It's really quite a strange feeling. It's not so much that your children aren't around, it's the fact that your children don't need you anymore. That's what brings it on. And as your whole sort of 25 years or so has been geared around your children and what they need and looking after them, it's a very strange sensation to be redundant again. And no matter what you do about it, it's only you that can fix it. So you've got a choice, you sink or swim basically. So either you sink into misery and pity and think that's it, you know, the rest of my life's over, what do I do now? Or you learn to swim. And that means making new friends, making new acquaintances, going out, developing hobbies and all that stuff. And one of the things it did for me was kickstart my interest in my business again, because I'd taken a bit of time off for various reasons, and it made me realise how much I needed to be connected to people again. What else did I learn this year? I learned that the world is 100% not what we thought it was. I learned that there are so many lies going on around, and that if you watch mainstream media and nothing else, you never find out, you never lift the veil. It's so different to how you think it is. If you're interested in that kind of thing, if you're interested in finding out what's really going on in the world, I would recommend you start with a YouTube channel called Quantum of Conscience. And that's conscience as in having a conscience. And Quantum of Conscience is a guy reading his book, and he's got the most lovely voice, and he's talking about the most interesting things. And it's the kind of book that would never ever get printed, because not only would a publisher not want to print it, but it would be absolutely enormous. It would be like the Encyclopedia Britannica. But I'm just taking one chapter at a time, and it builds, each chapter builds, and it's really, really interesting. And it pulls together all the things that I've discovered in the last couple of years, and it tries to make sense of them, and I'm really, really enjoying it. So finally, what am I looking forward to and working towards in 2023? I'm looking forward to using my own Be Everywhere online system to build my YouTube channel. I've always been attracted to the idea of being a YouTuber, but I haven't actually ever wanted to be a vlogger per se. I could see how time consuming that would be. But I really quite like the idea of helping people, all the people who are going to be coming into the entrepreneur workspace in the next few years, who are going to be losing their jobs, who are going to be being made redundant for various reasons. And I really want to help them all with the things I've learned over the last 25 years. Because I was a late starter. I didn't really, I mean, I was trying to build businesses from when I was 8, but I didn't really get going and get successful with any of them until I was about 38. So I've got quite a lot to share about what worked, what didn't, what to avoid, what pit holes, the great things I've learned from all of my mentors and the people around me, the very clever people around me. So yeah, I'm looking forward to building my YouTube channel, and that means building my podcast, because as one of my other videos shows, you can move from a YouTube channel to a podcast very, very easily. And that gives you content for all your other social media. So, for example, I put my podcast onto my nicolacairncross.com website. It also goes on to clicksandleads.com website, as well as embedding the YouTube video. So anyone going to either of my websites would find the video and the podcast. And then also it gives me something to share onto Twitter, Facebook and LinkedIn quite effortlessly, not to mention Instagram. Yeah, that's something I'm really going to focus on in the new year. I've been astonished by the results of my 28 videos in 28 days challenge I set myself, and the results that brought. So I'm definitely going to keep up with that and see what happens. I'm aiming to get to 1,000 subscribers. So if you're one of the 50% of people who watch these videos and don't subscribe, if you wouldn't mind subscribing, that would help me on my way. Thank you very much. I really appreciate it. I'm also looking forward to getting to the top of the allotment list in Middle Road Allotments in Shoreham. I've been basically watching over the last couple of years a load of people, survival people, homesteading people, farming people. I found it very soothing indeed, and my nan and granddad were phenomenal gardeners. They used to grow and then cook everything from their garden. It was amazing, and I put my name down for an allotment. I'm hoping my hairdresser can put in a good word for me, because she is an allotment person through and through. And if I can't get to the top of the allotment list by spring, I'm going to grow stuff on my balcony. So I'll be sharing updates about how that goes as well, because I just think growing things has got to be one of the most therapeutic things you can do to make you feel more like you're in control of your world. Growing your food, particularly. And finally, what I'm most looking forward to is relaunching Clicks and Leads Academy on the 5th of January, and then taking in clients throughout the year and really working with lots and lots of amazing different entrepreneurs. And they are all different. Everyone is unique. Everyone's got a different business. Everyone's at different stages in their development. And it just gives me so much pleasure to work with aspiring entrepreneurs, established entrepreneurs and successful entrepreneurs. And if you like the sound of that, then why not come along to clicksandleads.com/academy and check it out. And you can also find a video on YouTube here called Be Everywhere Online, which sort of outlines my methods, and it'll also give you a good idea of whether you'd like to work with me in 2023. I think that's it. I've got 10 minutes to spare. My sister only lives over the road, so I'm just going to pack up some sparkling wine and 3 dinner plates she needs apparently, and I'll be over there in a minute having fun with the rest of the clan. I hope you have a great time in between Christmas and New Year, and that you spend some time on reflection as well. It really makes you feel like you're ready to tackle the new year with strength, certainty and positivity. I'll see you tomorrow.